Have you ever stopped to think, like, what does it really take to feel prepared for, life's challenges, especially self-defense? And how some really old wisdom might actually connect to being strong today, both physically and mentally?
It's a great question.
Well, today we're doing a deep dive into exactly that, looking at Kung Fu San Soo. It's this pretty amazing martial art that was developed over centuries.
Many centuries, yeah.
Our mission here is basically to unpack its history, which is quite unique, get into the details of what makes it work, and also touch on its surprisingly deep philosophy.
Yeah.
We want to give you a really clear picture of what Kung Fu San Soo is and maybe why it still matters.
Right.
So let's start right at the beginning. The sources talk about these ancient roots, and one thing that jumped out was its specific name, Soi Li Ho Foot. Kind of specific.
Oh, yeah. That name is super important. It tells you exactly where it came from. We're talking centuries back in China.
Right.
3 families, Soi, Li, and Ho. They each brought their own systems to the table, essentially. They combined them to create this new defensive art.
They pooled their knowledge?
Pretty much. And they even built a monastery just to develop it further.
Wow.
And the foot part, that was there from the start, too. It was the philosophical, maybe even spiritual base. It references Buddha.
So it wasn't just about fighting techniques from day one?
Not at all. It was holistic, really, right from its inception, which tells you a lot about its depth.
Okay, so what does that mean for how the system works? Is it fixed or?
Oh, definitely not fixed. It evolved. Like, the Hung family was added later on.
Okay.
They brought in elements to increase power, focus more on physical conditioning, dynamics. It shows it was a living art. But the key takeaway, I think, from the sources is this idea of the 5 families. Soi, Li, Ho, Foot, and Hung.
Right, the 5.
And each one has its own concepts, its own focus. But, and this is crucial, the sources say they cannot be separated without compromising the integrity of the entire system.
So they have to work together.
Exactly. They mesh together to create this, effective and really versatile system for self-defense.
Okay, that history is fascinating, sets the stage.
Yeah.
But I think understanding what each family actually contributes, that's where San Soo really comes alive, right?
Absolutely. It's not just random techniques. Like you said earlier, it's like looking at self-defense through 5 different but connected lenses.
Yeah.
And each one handles a vital part of a potential conflict. It's that combination, that dynamic that makes it so powerful.
Okay, let's break them down then. Where do we start?
Let's start with Soiga. This is the striking family.
Striking. Okay.
Think punches, open hand chops to elbows, kicks, knees, all the direct impact stuff. The source mentions powerful or hard blows designed to injure the opponent through the force of impact. Pretty straightforward power.
Right, direct force. But then you mentioned Liga, which is about leverage. That sounds different, almost opposite.
Well, they work together. Liga is fascinating. It's not about muscle versus muscle. It's smarter than that.
How so?
It's about manipulating your opponent's balance, essentially knocking them off their center, or even replacing their center of balance with yours, if that makes sense.
Kind of redirecting their energy.
Exactly. The source talks about using your line of strength against your opponent's line of weakness. Think about moving something heavy. You don't just push head on, you find the leverage point.
Okay, yeah.
So this covers things like throws, joint locks, takedowns, and the really cool thing. It means size isn't everything. A smaller person can defend against someone bigger using Liga principles. Physics, basically.
That's huge. It really does level the playing field. Okay, so striking, leverage.
Yeah.
Then Hoga. This one's about accuracy, targeting vulnerable spots.
Precision, exactly. Hoga is all about efficiency. Maximum effect, minimum effort.
How does that work?
You learn to target very specific points. Pressure points, nerve clusters, certain muscles, even internal organs. Vulnerable locations on the human body.
Ooh. Sounds intense.
Well, the idea is to disable the opponent quickly and with the least amount of strength and effort used as possible. Surgical precision.
So Soi is the power blow. Ho is knowing exactly where to land it for the most impact.
You got it. Less brute force needed if your targeting is perfect.
Makes total sense. Okay, Soi, Li, Ho. The physical stuff seems covered. But then there's Futga. the philosophical base, this feels like a major shift.
It is, and it's fundamental. Futka deals with the mind. The source calls it the relationship of the mind in unity with the body.
Oh, and body connection.
Right. But it's also about building real confidence, a specific kind of confidence, an offensive, deliberate, and assertive attitude.
Offensive? How so?
Not necessarily meaning you attack first physically. It's more about projecting confidence so strongly that you might end the conflict verbally before it even gets physical.
De-escalation through presence.
Exactly. The source calls that true victory in conflict. And that kind of confidence, it says, doesn't just appear. It comes from proven performance, from training consistently, knowing you can handle yourself.
So it's a psychological strength built on physical competence.
Perfectly put. You're so sure of your skills you might not need them.
Wow. Okay, and the last one, Hanga.
Hanga ties a lot of the physical power together. It emphasizes dynamic power through proper body motion.
Dynamic motion, like?
Think using your whole body, rotation, shifting your weight effectively, pivoting, even sort of flailing motions, but controlled ones to generate power. It's about harnessing momentum.
Got it. Using the whole machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Hanga also heavily involves physical conditioning. There are specific exercise forms to boost flexibility, circulation, overall fitness, plus things like dynamic tension to build functional strength.
So it's the engine in the maintenance plan.
Kind of, yeah. It
Right.
builds the physical capacity to execute everything else powerfully and effectively.
Okay, so putting it all together.
Yeah.
You're learning striking, yes, but also how to think strategically, how to use leverage smartly, target precisely, move dynamically, and develop this deep mental confidence. It's incredibly comprehensive.
It really is a true holistic system. Physical skill, mental discipline, strategic thinking, all woven together.
So this all sounds amazing, steeped in history, but how does something like this survive?
Right.
How is it practiced now?
And the goal they state on their site really sums it all up nicely. It ties back to everything.
That's that?
Their aim is to upgrade your health, vitality, and self-defense skills for all of life's daily battles and challenges.
Daily battles and challenges. So it's broader than just fighting.
Much broader. It connects that physical training, the confidence, the strategic mind, the mind-body unity from Futka, applying all of it to everyday life. Not just a physical confrontation, but any challenge you face.
Wow, what a journey, really, thinking about Kung Fu San Soo. From these ancient roots, the families pooling their knowledge through this incredibly detailed system. Striking, leverage, targeting, the dynamic movement.
And that crucial philosophical core, the mind and body unity, the confidence.
Right, and then seeing how it's kept alive today.
It really is a remarkable example of how something ancient can remain so relevant. It integrates the physical and the mental so deeply.
You really see how those families aren't just separate skills you learn.
Not at all. They're essential parts of a whole. You need all of them working together for it to be truly effective, truly San Soo. It's holistic, not just for self-defense, but for, well, personal development.
Mastering yourself, like you said.
Yeah, that feels like the ultimate goal.
So thinking about all this, maybe reflect on that idea. This concept of distinct parts, these families that are interconnected and have to work together to create something powerful and whole. How might that apply beyond martial arts? Think about, I don't know, solving complex problems, or how teams work best, or even just how you approach your own growth. Something to chew on.